Hi, I'm Dr. Stephen Zemanek, and our question this time comes from West Virginia. And she says, this last week my pastor said that going to counseling is sin, that only God should be our counselor and only pastors should listen and help us. What do you think? I think, quite honestly, with all due respect, having not heard the whole sermon, and perhaps I'm taking it out of context, with all of that, I say with deep respect that your pastor, from what you said here, is wrong on this point. God is the great counselor, no doubt about it. Scripture is very clear in that. But God also gives each and every individual in the world specific gifts. And He's given to many the gift of counseling. Even Jethro in the Old Testament, no, not the one off Hillbillies, the Old Testament, told his son-in-law Moses that he needed to gather around him many counselors. Over and again in the Proverbs, it is told that we are to have many wise counselors around us. A counselor is simply someone who is able to look at situations and help us walk through those situations. In today's world, we have professional counselors, men and women who are trained to learn not so much the right answers, but how to help us walk through the situations by asking questions in a way that don't offend us unnecessarily. I mean, if you're walking through a situation and somebody just tells you, well, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, chances are the conversation is going to end there. However, a counselor is trained to ask questions in a way that lead us through some very sticky and painful situations so that we can come to a godly answer. And just like everything else in life, there are good, godly counselors, and there are those individuals who are in the business but should probably be on the other side of the desk getting counseling instead of helping us with counseling. And so we need to be very careful in who we choose as a counselor. So should Christians only talk to God and their pastor? Of course not. Let's be honest, when most of you try to call our pastors, and I am one, it's very hard to get a hold of us. God gave everyone gifts, and to many of us He gave the gift of counseling. And so use those gifts. I say that with all respect to your pastor. Well, those are my thoughts. And remember, because of Jesus, life is good today.